welcome to the ToV live stream tonight. I'm starting to do titles. I'm starting because this is becoming a thing. And hello, it is Valhalla time. How are we all doing tonight? Of course, I'm Ryan, Tales of Valhalla. I got Joe above me. I got Jeremy over there. I got Ben, NK plus Ultra, to my left. And how are we all doing tonight? We are here to talk about some of the updates that have happened in the last few days on Discord for Heroscape, Age of Annihilation. Fun times, fun times. How are you guys all doing tonight?
Oh yeah, Ryan. Oh yeah. Feeling pretty good.
There you go. Pretty good. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite again, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Always.
Did your voice get deeper?
His voice gets deeper.
Oh, I moved the mic closer.
It's cool.
Oh.
So now I can talk into it. You know, I'm talking into it, not at it.
The progressive. Every stream
is progressively
it's
deep.
gonna get deeper. It's gonna get deeper and deeper, and then at some point it'll just be the lowest bass ever.
Yeah.
Like just a frequency.
The
Like
lowest
you
bass
can only
human
hear like.
voices can go.
Can you I imagine him as like an S and wine. What do you think?
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want you to read that line in Thorman's journal. I just need to hear that. Be like, my name is Cyprian Eisenwine. Just say that. Like,
Just say it. Say it real quick.
Right now,
Yeah, go ahead.
my name is Cyprian SNY.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
vampiric as hell.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're
I'm hooked.
you're casted. You're casted for now seasons 4, 5, and 6. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Spoiler. Anyway, we are
That would
not,
be actually awesome. Cyprian's one of my favorite characters. So if I could voice Cyprian SNY, that would be BA
We just got some plot.
for sure.
for ToV for sure, but we're not here to talk about Tales of Valhalla tonight, and I know I have to get back on track on that, but it's not going to be tonight. Probably gonna be next week. I mean, there are things that we need to sort out because this whole, and actually, if someone asking, and we'll address this later. When someone asks, is there a podcast version of this anywhere? No, there isn't. But
One day.
this is transforming into something,
One
and
day.
I'm not sure where it's gonna go, and it's still like
If I was good at audio editing, I would offer,
in the
but I
future.
definitely don't have.
I'm good at all that. I just don't have the time. But
Yeah,
anyway.
That's where
It's
we're at.
something we'll talk
Any
about.
audio editors out there, you know,
We'll pay you for with peanuts
we could use the help.
or a TUV shirt.
We'll send you all the
I
files.
can send you a TUV shirt.
Right.
There you
I
go.
got candied cashews.
I got some extra Heroscape units.
I think
No, it
that's
has to
good.
be
Joe
food, and
will
they have
actually
to
go
eat.
on the bike. Joe will go on the bike if you do our audio.
Yeah, see, that's
Anyway, it's great.
don't make me exercise.
It's great. It's great for you guys.
for audio editing though,
to
I mean,
be
think about
here.
it. It's worth it, right?
It's great to have you guys here tonight, and I'm trying to keep this to an hour because I have things
For
and
sure.
stuff that I got to do for the rest of this week. So we're just going to get started, and we can shout out you guys at the end of the stream
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it's just going to be like almost like around an hour-long stream tonight for those of you watching. Again, any comments, say hi. We'll shout you out in the comment section of the live stream. Whether you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, welcome. And okay, so it's all two of you watching, Joe and Jeremy. We'll see if we get any more.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
But
I'm entertained.
Everyone can see my pog emojis because I got these commissioned.
But
Great.
before we leap into the Discord dumps for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and wow, what interesting faction stuff we have going on tonight. Blinder
For
14,
sure.
I see you. Hello, wonderful. I just want to give a shout out to a YouTuber who kind of gave me a shout out on his YouTube page, and so I just wanted to return the favor. So just really quick, I'm just gonna bring him up. This YouTuber's name is Brandon Wicker. I sorry if I butcher your name. I butcher names all the time. But he kind of did an Age of Annihilation video on his own YouTube channel, and you can actually see right here Jason's video in the background. I thought that was kind of cool that Jason was there. But he mentioned 4 YouTubers that he's been listening to for like an Age of Annihilation updates, and he'll link it to it real quick. And he mentions actually you, Ben, MK Plus Ultra. He likes your channel a lot. Sir Heroscape, Tabletop Bro, and Tales of Valhalla as well. And I'm sorry for the freeze frame, Brandon. That's a wonderful freeze frame. But I just started watching his videos. He's got some very interesting, entertaining videos, and I know he's kind of on the fact that he's under 100 subscribers. So anybody out there, if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description below for Brandon's YouTube page. Give him a sub, so that way we can just bust open 100 subscribers for him and just give him a very happy week. And being entertained with his videos in the process, because like I said, I watched a little bit of his videos and I had fun. So Brandon, thanks for the shout out. Return the favor. All right, let's continue. All right, so let us end here. I'm gonna actually, okay, I'm gonna have a comment here because N Carmine shouted us out earlier this week as well on the Discord, so I want to mention that real quick, and then we'll get into what he was exactly talking about. We're gonna basically be telling you guys what you already know, but we're gonna talk about it. All right, so let me get this here. Okay, it says, did anyone else think of the Borg when reading the Ironclad Collective? And then Carmen says, I may need to phone a friend here and bring the entire Tales of Valhalla official crew in here for a roundtable on this. Wink, wink. Well, he didn't have to phone me. I saw it there because he just basically linked me. And what does Ironclad mean? Well, let us talk about that and get into that. So let me bring these up. So, on Monday, we got this photograph and this message here. Well, let's first do the message, then we'll do the photograph. Let me make sure I get the right one here. Yeah, I think it's this one. Alright. So let's open this up. So this is for the first photo, and it's Designer's Notes Day 7, the Ironclad Collective Faction Lore. And Joe, did you say you wanted to read that?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Alright, go ahead and read it, Joe.
Alright.
You gotta do it in the narrator voice, though. You gotta, like, make it cool.
Designer Notes Day 7.
There you go. There you go.
The Ironclad Collective Faction Lore. For Eon, unknown on their planet of Noxtorma, the Ironclad have been waging war using the cold logic of their data cognitors and their hardened steel of their inorganic weapons system. The limitations and mortality of their organic species reforged and forgotten as countless generations focused on perfecting their methods of absolute destruction. Every outcome on the battlefield is pre-calculated. Every possible strategy is processed before the first shots are fired. The collective's military composition consistently adapts to the new battlefield conditions as they upgrade their cybernetics to counter enemy tactics. Sometimes even relinquishing individuality, I just said that wrong, to ameliorate themselves into combined monstrous war machines of searing intensity. Members of the collective reflect their harsh philosophies of war in various death masks, creating metallic reflections of nightmares, and creating a visual persona of fear and despair in the minds of their adversaries. Every potential edge in combat is analyzed, even the psychological advantages gained through uncompromising terror tactics.
And we have
Nice.
And we have the photo, and this, I mean, this just kind of blew my mind here. Just the machinery with the organics was just wow. I'm just like, this is a side of something we haven't seen before. Like, and the two that interested me the most was here on the far right, this six-wheeled a big gun figure, which I have I don't know what to think about that. And then this open mouth monster
monstrosity.
I'm just like, wow. I mean, these guys went really overtime. And again, we're introduced to a new faction now, the Ironclad Collective. And like I said, with talking about referencing the Borg, because we actually referenced the Borg in previous live streams when we were talking about the Morrow, because the Morrow in a sense is kind of like the Borg of Heroscape. But are they making a more Borg now faction of Heroscape? And what is this race? I mean, there's monsters we haven't seen before. It's one thing I like about Heroscape, because I know I think some people might have been going at this, but I think one of the great things about Heroscape is they can introduce whatever they want to introduce, because it's the battle of all time throughout the whole universe. They can bring in anything. The sandbox is limitless for this stuff. That's the beauty of Heroscape. And so if they're, and actually what I'm thinking is okay, if these are what the bad guys look like, I wonder what the good guys look like, or if we're gonna get any good guys. I'm imagining, or guys that are more good,
morally inclined to help rather than just I'm really just holy moly, like it says in the title there, or holy ironclad. But what are your guys' thoughts initially when you saw this? Joe, go ahead and go first.
Is there anything in this game so far that has tires?
I don't think so.
Because things with wheels is completely new. And not to say this is a vehicle by all chance, but that was one of the predictions that Glenn and I had, was having vehicles in Heroscape. Now, obviously it doesn't operate like a vehicle, it'll be a completely character, I'm sure you could move and all that, but it resembles a vehicle, so we're getting close with that one.
Right. For sure.
But yeah, I love that guy, and I absolutely love that these heads, the line, what do they call it on the base, the line of sight, the green dot on the silhouette, what do they call that?
Yeah, that's line of sight.
Yeah, it's a line of sight. Because the guy, the giant evil Pac-Man thing, has a separate head. It's a very tiny head nugget on top of the giant head. Yeah. So I'm almost assuming that's that dot, the line of sight thing.
And the body is just it says it in there too. The body is just probably there to scare them, because they use fear tactics a lot. So it's just war paint almost. It's terrifying. You're absolutely right. That's crazy.
So I wonder if these things change forms at any point too, and if they combined at all. I wonder if they work into each other, where they level up into different fear levels. Yeah. But yeah, the tank thing, it was all in my favor. That was the first thing I'm just like, what? And what? I mean, was it supposed to fire?
What is its purpose really? And it's I mean, just I can just see the story expanding just exponentially, just from these two factions. And this is still just a small little bit of what.
It's all teasers still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like oh
They still haven't given us solid info. It's all teasers.
they haven't. I mean, can you imagine, like, say, a few years down the road, and when we
Right.
know everything, and we're just like, wow.
No longer being
How
drip
silly
fed.
we look right now. We must look so silly.
Oh, it's funny. I love reading the conversations in Discord because it's like I feel like, oh my gosh, you see where that line went? That line must mean it's something else, and then it's just the discussions go nuts. And
Well,
it's like,
and that was one thing too.
we are hungry.
Or like reading into what N. Carmine's saying. I mean, Sir
Every little word that man
Sir-
says is
Sir,
like,
Sir Heroscape was kind of like getting in depth in that. Although we don't have much time to do that tonight.
Right.
But I know, like everybody watching, I'm gonna give Sir Heroscape just a quick shout out. Just check out Sir Heroscape's channel because he does update these things at every dump. Every Discord dump every day, he does an update video. So check out his stuff. You know, they're a bit quicker, a little bit more informative, just based on his perspective. So it's nice. But yeah, really just like wow. And then Tuesday, I think this is one of my favorites, and I cannot wait to see, because of course these are just the sketches. You know, this isn't what the miniature's gonna be. Well, it's gonna the idea of what the miniature is gonna be. But if it's
Right.
anything close to this, and here, let me bring this up. I'm gonna read this because I got floored when I saw this. So designer's notes, day 8. You need to get your vitamins and minerals from someplace. After our decision to create a literal living blast furnace on tank treads, well, come to that decision. what type of brainstorming session was that, Chris? I mean, just like, let's just think of the craziest thing imaginable and do it. Okay, that works, you know. I mean, I would honestly love to sit in some of these brainstorming sessions, because you know they're still probably doing it. It's like if we're still planning for stuff, you know, like if 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years. Oh, I'd love to sit down in those conversations, just give my goofy idea. It proved to be incredibly fulfilling to figure out an accurate tabletop scale to properly allow this monstrosity, and this thing is a monstrosity, to consume all manner of enemy combatants, turn them into molten slag, and leave the clinker across the battlefield. I mean, really, what is more horrifying to witness? And yes, it fits on a peanut base. Sort of. And so here is the full photo of this guy, and I think this has become my favorite miniature. The Melter Death Forge, a unique hero, and it's a unique hero. It's not like it's like a like an unmovable object, like a door,
Like a hive.
or a hive or anything. This thing can move, and just, I mean,
If this is essentially a hive on the move, take my money.
oh my gosh.
I want it to just be slowly go across the battlefield and just like poop out like things as it eats things. Like, I just generally want to do that to 3 Marrow drones and just kind of drive through the battlefield and just pump out
please
other
let
things.
me destroy all the stingers.
Yeah, like
Consume all stingers.
even you know what, zombies. I'd rather do it to zombies because forget them.
Right.
Get them out of there.
Now, do you
Turn
notice
them into
some of the artist sketches? There's actually artist sketches here of, I think, a squad that isn't even this big miniature. It's like you got someone holding an axe, holding like a club or a big square knife.
I want to say
hammer?
that's another hero because it says pick and then there's A, B, or C. So one's a
Yeah.
pick, one's a hammer, and one's some kind of sword.
What if,
and then you
what
see
if,
in
what
the
if that's a
bottom, hammer.
squad? What if that's a squad that goes with this
That
big
would be
miniature?
cool.
I'm
That'd be
guessing
really
that
good.
might
the
be
Death
the
Forge
case.
creates
Yeah.
them or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
I
the-
might need
or-
somebody to feed the machine.
Yeah.
I need something to throw them up in there, and they're like the
That, or
that
maybe
the guards.
Oh, they gather the
the-
materials for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or maybe they manage the machine, or they're somehow merged with it, or what's the word I'm searching for?
Bond?
Huh?
Well, because they've
Bonding
already
with
had
it, yeah, or
shown,
bond with it somehow.
the unique squad bonding, so maybe we're getting another unique squad bonding with this, like with the monster hunters and the Black Widow, or whichever, who was it that you could bond with a unique squad. So maybe this is another, might be another example of unique squad bonding, or if it's just, you know, an early model, or maybe they might be going with this sculpt. But he said something about tank treads, so I don't think the ones with the feet are going to be the final design. So you're right, maybe it might be a squad and one has a hammer, one has a sword, and one has a axe or whatever, a hammer. So
Right.
that would be nice. That would be crazy.
Yep, Chris, if you're watching this like now or later, if you cannot confirm or deny, or just give your wonderful hints, or you can say yes or no, and then leave it at that, and I won't say a word.
I'll forget. You can just tell me anything. I'll just forget it.
All right, so, and let's move to the last one real quick here. And this was today. And this was another very, very interesting, almost actually kind of like similar to yesterday's, but a little bit different because this is your unique squad. And did someone else want to read this? Any takers?
I can do it.
All right, go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, so Designer Notes Day 9. The strength of walls depends on the courage of those that guard them. Wraith Riders are the vanguard elite of the Ironclad advance, rushing ahead of the main force to break forward defenses and weaken morale before the enemy are overrun by the inexorable march of legions of ghastly cybernetic creatures. Their fast and aggressive flanking tactics force their adversaries into killing zones, where the rest of the Ironclad can apply their vast array of horrific firepower onto the beleaguered and hopeless.
Now, cybernetic, does that mean they're not Soulborg? They're machine, but they're not Soulborg.
Right.
I wanted to make that point earlier because when maybe on the first of these 3 designer notes, there was a little bit of discussion on the Facebook Heroscapers group, and they were like, you know, some people were like, why bring more, you know, Soulborgs, and you know, but from the first little blurb, and Carmine, Chris, he tells us that they're not Soulborgs. They were once a race of people that left their organic bodies behind to pursue war, like literally to turn themselves into perfect war machines.
That sounds
and it's funny
like
because
the Borg.
Like, that's what I was literally about to get to, because when somebody said, oh, it reminds me of a Borg, like it literally took me back to my childhood, because I was not really a fan of Star Trek, but my dad was. And I'm sure it was like more specifically like The Next Generation. Is that the one with Picard?
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, specifically that one. And so when that movie was playing, whenever my dad had it playing, I was kind of like,
First Contact,
you know, but
yeah.
I saw scenes of it. And like it was like engraved in my memory. And I got that same, when I read that comment, I think Jeremy, you shared that comment with us, where they said, you know, it looks like the Borg. And I was like, you know, it really does, because they were trying to pursue perfection.
Right.
And the only thing with these Ironclad, and they're also called the Collective. Like another name for them was the Collective, and these are the Ironclad Collective. So it's pretty funny that they operate as like a hive mind kind of thing.
Right.
But it's funny, the Ironclad Collective are trying to perfect war. Like they're not trying to be perfect, they're trying to perfect war. And so would be the difference in the Borg. But that's funny, the parallels that they share. But these guys are just there for war and scare tactics and just to destroy, and that's awesome to me.
Yeah,
Like,
their goal is probably like ultimate like brutality, you know, instead of perfection. Just, I mean, the way they look, it just it looks like brutality as opposed to perfection. But yeah, and then just it makes me wonder now, if they were a race. Excuse me. If they were a race, were they humanoid or were they something different?
Right.
That's
I'd assume more human. There's more humanoid, at least based on the Wraith Riders here.
right. Yeah, and I love the term wraith, because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. So anytime you could put wraith in to describe something, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm absolutely there. Yeah.
You can see too in the designs of there are a lot of them are humanoid. You know, kind of exaggerated, like super skinny or gigantic arms, or but it's or exaggerated humanoid features that they are, like the massive blade arms is what I'm picturing, but they're arms, you know, humanoid arms,
like whips almost.
Oh yeah, the and I was thinking the little wheels that they're on, I thought they were wheels, and then I looked at it again just briefly, and I'm like, oh no, it looks like a hover thing.
They could be
But I
hovering,
looked at it a third time, and it's like a ball.
Yeah,
It's almost like a ball bearing.
like a ball bearing.
And it's
Awesome.
and so I thought that concept was sick. Like it's literally a wheel, but you can picture it like that's actually like what is it, BB-8, the
Right.
little.
Yeah, it just moves in omnidirectional. It just moves in any direction.
Yeah. So that's pretty sick. And it says like they're the vanguard, so they're the ones taking care of business right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so I actually was kind of thinking like they're gonna be super fast, and like wouldn't it be crazy if they have like disengage? And it's like you think like that's crazy, but they're a unique squad. So
Right.
super fast, maybe 8 move, 7 move with disengage, like they can get there and disrupt stuff right at the beginning of the match, which I think that's what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like a reach, maybe with their whip, or like they can like Indiana Jones something and bring it to them or something. Like they're gonna be crazy to see their final design, which is what we're all waiting for. But
Right. And Gipley the Giant says they look like the dwarven constructs from Skyrim. Now I haven't played Skyrim; it's on my list, but I haven't played Skyrim. But if you guys have,
Yeah, I can see in my head what the reference. Yeah, they have these giant like the dwarven race in Skyrim. They're missing at this point. Like you can't actually find any of them, but they left behind all their automatons, and they have like these like robotic like shells that they left behind that they activate when you go into the ruins and they attack you and stuff. It's kind of annoying, but like they're actually cool looking. So I know what he's talking about. Yeah.
and I just want to shout out, hi Marion, nice to see you from Honduras. There, we see your comments as well. Hello. And now, okay, so that was that, and I know I browsed through that kind of quickly because we are kind of like at a time limit tonight. Hopefully not like it's not going to be like this in the future. But any final thoughts about those before we move on to our next segment?
I want to ask a question from you three. Your predictions, they're general. Are they general lists, or like are they just some byproduct, like we were talking about, byproduct of two worlds merging, maybe a neighboring planet, what was it? Noxodorma.
Well,
maybe it was in proximity to another planet that was heavily harvested by the generals, so they caught wind of it. So what are I'll give my prediction first. I kind of got this opinion by just talking about it. I've been posting on my Instagram, so there's people that kind of give their feedback. Right. And I'm thinking, if anybody, it was Valkyrie. Yeah. Because he has more like a horror themed aspect to a few of his units. The few that there are, just the Meso Demons and then the Death Knights. Like he has more of like a horror aspect. So I think if anyone brought them in, it was him. But I also am highly suspicious that they just came over by themselves. But you guys take it away. What are your guys' predictions?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh, go ahead. All right, so I agree with Ben on this one. I definitely get the Valkyrie vibe from them because if for anyone that does recall, when Valkyrie starts to summon units into the world of Valhalla, I think it's the Shadow Cavern, the lost scenarios. You can go on the website, you can play out the lost scenarios. It's called Shadow Cavern. They actually have you as an army. Your goal is to stop Valkyrie from summoning, and if you fail the mission, he ends up describing what he summons, and they say it's like these demons and creatures of unimaginable horrors. And I mean look at the concept art. These things are terrifying.
Yeah. It is unimaginable horror.
As it fits the description of what Valkyrie was summoning at the time of that campaign scenario. So I think these definitely fit Valkyrie's vibe. And essentially because Utgar had already been summoning, everything else, he's already pretty much rounded out in terms of his armies. Like Valkyrie didn't get any, in terms of, he got 4 different units and they're all separate groups. So it's like, this would be a great way to round out that general if they're bringing back Heroscape, especially bringing back classic Heroscape, and they want to tread around that stuff that got left behind, this would be the perfect Valkyrie unit to get started with, in my opinion.
That's really good insight. I didn't even know, like, that solidifies my thought process. But then also, dang, I just forgot what you just said. But like, it literally like ties in. You know, he's the horror and the unimaginable horrors.
Horror
like,
general.
Yeah, for sure. And then, it is a good chance for Avalon Hill to flesh out Valkyrie, like just to flesh out that general a little bit more.
I hope we
bring one of the first new introduced factions, and that's what I was thinking of earlier. I like the Morrow, no offense, Joe, but what about the new Morrow Hive? You know, what about the new faction of units that's gonna be the new favorite or your new favorite? And this could be like these shaping up to be really cool, you know, but there's still a lot more to see. So sorry, but that was really good insight, Jeremy. Thank you for that.
Joe,
is there any like question that, I mean, don't get me wrong, true fact has to be Valkyrie, but is there any chance that this just could be a new general? Like, is there, I don't know, like, why not introduce a new general for these newer units?
No, that's totally possible. The thing is, because, I mean, let's be honest, since the game was discontinued so long ago, they really could go any direction. They're basing this off of a lore that was established 12 years ago. They have all the reins in their hands at this moment to take it in any direction. And you know, there's no saying where it could go. And with what we've, especially with the Dawn Raider Syndicate, like going back, you know, week to last week's reveals, they've already described that a lot of characters have kind of become disillusioned with the generals, no longer want to participate in the war, but still kind of want, you know, they're still living out their life on this new planet, and they're adapting to the circumstances, which requires some of them to become specialized in like monster hunting and stuff like that. So if there are a bunch of characters that are adapting to the new circumstances, there might be, in this new future, in this age of annihilation, maybe there are multiple factions, and you know, people are starting to break apart into smaller and smaller groups to survive what they feel is impossibility and things like that. So that's, you know, like I said, it's, you know, this is 12-year-old lore. It could go any direction. So
I'm thinking, like, if they're called the Ironclad Collective, if there is a general, it's going to be one heck of a general.
Right.
If this is what the minions of these, you know, look like, if there will be, it's because I was thinking for a second, well, why couldn't Utgar some of them? But no, they're their own factions, so it would have to have some type of faction leader. So whether or not that's a Valkyrie general, I'd love to know more about that Valkyrie general. And Gimli the Giant says, I think because they're a faction, there won't be a general leading them, but they do seem very Valkyrie-like. Yeah, that is the thought. So, and thank you, Gimli the Giant. And like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below on your opinion on this heated matter of debate. Whether there's a like, if there's a faction leader, is it a Valkyrie general, or is it maybe somebody different that we just don't know about? Could there be a Ironclad Collective queen? You know, so yeah, no, it's an interesting question. You know, something to rival Kimoshi.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like a Queen Mira from Gears.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, certainly. So, yeah, good thoughts, and it's something we'll have to talk about at a later time. But like I said, I'm trying to keep this live stream a little bit short because there's stuff that I have to do. And before we close, I do want to look at the YouTube comments, because I'm starting to like doing this to where for the previous live stream that we do, I upload it to YouTube, and then people comment in the comment section on YouTube, and I like to recognize most of them at least. So I am going to, let's see here, get started with this here. Just give me a second to where I'm going to close down. Like, we have a lot of photos here in my computer that I'm just going to be like, shut these down, get these shut down. Oh, it's so nice. Hi. So many questions, so little answers. Well, actually, no, we get plenty of answers from him. Carmine, just nothing clear.
Very vague.
Nothing.
Keeping it vague.
The vagueness is strong with this one. But okay, so first comment, and we're just gonna rip this band-aid off right away. First comment's from Chad, and he's commented before on these things, so just want to open this up. It says things mentioned in y'all's outros. That guy says he doesn't want a V3 old man Drake and Raylan. I probably won't be subscribing to his channel for a while. LOL. The other guy mentioned a wall of art. Yeah, I think during the Sir Heroscape interview with the boss man, I believe it was mentioned they started off the whole project and lore building with a big wall of art. Now, first I want to get into just a couple of things here. It's I talked to Chad a little bit in the comment section before because I was just kind of like, what's going on here? That guy, the other guy, and he was telling me that he just doesn't remember names. I'm like, okay, that's fair. It just seemed a little bit kind of rude to me. I mean, I would say if like presenting it differently, I wouldn't like. Because I think it was you, Ben, that was talking about V3, Old Man Drake and Raylan, about like that it not being a thing, and we're going to talk about that in a second, because I know you have more to say. But I mean, it's just try to be like just a little bit nicer. I think that's what I'm trying to get across, Chad. I mean, I'm not trying to discourage you from disagreeing. By all means, if you want to disagree, go ahead and disagree. But just say, you know, I disagree with the fact of what this guy said about Old Man Drake and Raylan. I would say one thing about Ben's YouTube channel, like anybody who comes upon my stream, I go through their YouTube channel videos extensively because I like their content, I like what they do, and I wouldn't recommend something that I don't like. So, and I know Ben's got a great like Heroscape channel, and so I mean, and it's okay to disagree. It's okay to not subscribe, but it just seems like just a little less nice to say that. So I just wanted to say that, okay, we're done. Band-Aid ripped off. But I know, Ben, you want to say something, and one thing also with Chad, because Chad's commented many times, and I mean, I don't really have a problem with him per se, and I mean, he's I love the name Chad. It's just, he's the Chad, and we need to get a Chad following going here. The Chad comment section. It's like, come on, I want to make him the guy. So, so yeah, just and I know, and I'm pretty sure it's like I said when talking with him, he didn't mean no ill will about it. I think he was just, you know, trying to be funny. So it's all cool.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's all I chalked it up to. He was just exaggerating. He was just making comment, you know, to be funny. And I'm not that I agree with his point of view. Don't unsubscribe to me because of my point of view. But it's
I'm gonna
if
disagree
there's
with
any
you.
characters,
I'm still subscribed.
huh?
I'm gonna disagree with you, but I'm still subscribed to you.
Thank you, and thank you for what you said about my channel. Like, thank you. Like, I have watched every single episode of Tales of Valhalla. Joe, I've watched several videos. Your content too, Jeremy. I actually watched your meme video that has over 1K views already.
I don't know how that happened. It was a dumb joke, and I did not expect it to explode like that.
But yeah, not that I feel like I need to defend myself either, but we don't really need a 3.0 because, in fact, the only people that would get a 3.0 would be Raylan and Sergeant Drake. Correct me if I'm wrong. They would be the only two figures that would get one. With Raylan, they didn't need the Swarm of the Morrow. They didn't need the 2.0. That's a figure that gets unplayed now because it was unnecessary. I mean,
I think 1.0
the first one's better.
Considered better. Yeah.
The Casters of Valhalla. the casters of Valhalla call it the Scottie Pippen syndrome. Like there's she's better, she's less points. Why bring Scottie Pippen when Michael Jordan's there on the bench? You know.
That's like
If anybody understands, nobody understands the references, you were born after year 2000, probably.
And then also, Sergeant Drake, they got it right with the second one. The first one is good, but the second one is really good too. Throw him into a 4th mass build. He gives them the Valiant bonus. That's a really good army. I don't think they need to make a 3rd sculpt of either of the 3, because then now they're going to make the other ones unplayed figures, or, you know, but I think the priority should be spent on making new 2.0s. I'm happy with. Not that I would hate a 3.0 of either of those figures. I just think at the moment, priority should be put on 2.0s, or just give us new Scape. That was my only reasoning behind that. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't throw the figures away. I would get the figures for sure. And it would be funny too, because they're the ones who have set the precedent. They should get a 3.0 because they're the only 2 figures that got a 2.0. So in all fairness, a 3.0 and a 3.0 of Rayland or Sergeant Drake would not be absurd, because they've already been the 2 master sets that released. They already got upgrades, so why not again?
And
you know?
and the upgrades are not preferred to the originals, so like tournament wise. Because I think Rayland 1.0 gets banned more because of how good
That's
it
true.
is.
Yeah. So maybe have a better second option if Rayland 1.0 gets banned.
Right.
So,
And
for sure.
You got a good point when it comes to, okay, for a 3rd, will that, you know, make like the first one or the second one even more irrelevant? But if they could have a new sculpt of them in a way that complements the previous 2, would you still be okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay if they released one that was almost exactly similar to the first one, or even the second one. Like that, it's like I've said. I think I even said on channel, like on my channel, it's more Heroscape. Nothing is gonna turn me away from this game at this point. Like I'm all in. Like literally nothing. I can't think anything is too absurd, because the whole concept of the battle of all time is kind of absurd. So I've already accepted that fact. So the 3.0, 4.0 later on is not going to throw me away, but it would be cool. They could do some updates. I could see them updating Rayland 3.0 and making her not as good as the first one, but a viable option in case the first one, who's a pretty much like A tier, S tier figure, she's banned a lot. So we're making that's like making another Q9. Is like, are they really going to make a Q9 2.0? They don't need a Q9 2.0. So it's just one of those things.
Right. Me being the storyteller, I want to see some story progression with the 2 characters for sure. If that means, if that doesn't mean new sculpts, then fine. But I'd love to see new sculpts. Actually, one thing I'd like to see is actually the son of Drake Alexander. And Drake Alexander somehow being gone in the war, and it's like a next generation of Drake Alexander
what about
coming out.
What about
that's one thing I like to see.
What about, if time has progressed, don't hear me out. What about Sergeant Drake and Rayland's son?
If that's how they go with it, I mean, in my Tales of Valhalla mind, I don't see that happening, because I actually have a kind of like a coupling story arc with Rayland, but it's not Drake.
Okay.
In my Overcooked storyline, but I understand what you're saying within the Heroscape canon. I mean, that would be a cool thing to see. It would.
It's like it's implied at some point that Drake started getting really protective of Rayland, so I think that's why a lot of people ship them together.
For sure.
I want to say it's like one of the last few Thorman journals. She got hurt, and he was just like, "I'm gonna kill everything that touches her," and it was everyone associates that with the track, romance. So it's just like
for sure
spirals into that.
I didn't even know that.
That possibly might something might come of it with with the story progression. So we'll see.
Johnny Shotgun tried to flirt with her, and she flipped him on his back.
In TOV, he still does. So
he didn't get anywhere with that. Like that was a funny reaction.
Is that something to discuss too? I mean, how long has passed in Valhalla?
Exactly.
So is there a possibility of half breeds? Right. They can make their own lore
lifestyles and stuff,
with their own characters with their own literally creature types and their own aliens that they made, some kind of, you know, hybrid species.
Right.
Yeah, and Gippily the Giant says, shoot, I'm all for V3 Drake or Raylan, not my top priority, but whoa, just think of what they could turn into. And then he says, Drake plus Raylan equals Draylin.
That's not
Draylin. Yes,
Like,
Draylin.
Cool.
realistically,
we
though,
gotta give a different name.
Lieutenant Draylin.
No Draylins.
like realistic though, like that's having the son of a character is a great way to get a Drake 3.0 in a way,
Right.
without doing the same model, but also
right.
continuing the story. It does
Really good idea.
every single thing that I think, you know, new fans and old fans would want to see. And as a design point and as a gameplay mechanic, it works for it as well. So will they do that? Won't they do that? We don't know, but I think it would be to at least to appease those people that are like, dude, we need a new Sergeant Drake because I want a new Sergeant Drake.
Yeah.
We'll get those people excited. Like, look, you're not getting exactly Sergeant Drake, but you're getting his son, so you understand that he had a child on Valhalla.
I want to see story
raised him
progression.
up to be a soldier, and this is who he is.
Or even
That's crazy.
old man Drake, who's
Good
like,
concept.
you know, just, you know, weathered by the world, or even like even a passed away Drake. I mean, just as long as there's some type of progression, I'm just ready and willing to see what they come up with it. And then one other thing too, with Chad, about the let's see here, the Wall of Art. Yeah, I believe that because I remember that interview. I think that was mentioned by Dad Scape or Scaper Dad or whatever that design team fellow's name is. Sorry, again, I butcher names. But yeah, I believe he did mention that, and I think it was like Jeremy or Joe. You said that about Wall of Art, so that is a confirmed, like what we talked about. That is something
they had
confirmed.
the Heroscape room.
Yep, they have. And like I said, I just love to be a fly on a wall or a microphone machine in that room, just to get intel on what they come up with. Dreams. But yes, Chad, thank you for the comments. Like I said, we want to go the way of the Chad. The Chad's way. The Chad following, so feel free to comment again and be nice. But no, you're good, man. You're good, man. We appreciate even the disagreements. It's all good. We're all here because we love this game. So keep on commenting away, my man. And okay, next comment. Let's see, we get to. Okay, I'm just gonna do this one real quick. Okay, Zach Taylor says, "Love the panel. Keep it up, guys." I'm finding that a lot of people do like this. Just this thing coming out of nowhere. But yeah, thank you, Zach. And let's see, we get this one. And this is talk about something I talked about last time, which is okay. Oh no, this is something different. Okay, so Demon Hunter Pillar P86 says, "I think about the characters being summoned the moments before their death in one of two ways. An effort to have a little effect on the character's homeworld as possible. I believe this was referenced in the stream, but not necessarily worded this way. Or loyalty, someone who's more likely to be grateful or loyal to you, even if they know you saved them from certain death, than if you just pulled them out of their everyday life." So I think this is talking about the lore question that Chris gave us, kind of. When it comes to, you know, why did people stick with the Valkyrie generals the way they did, and why they were summoned moments before their death. And like I don't know if I remember saying this last time. I think I was thinking, I don't know if I said it, but it could be like a timeline thing too, not to interrupt the timeline in other worlds, although that might still end up being messed up anyway. But they were doing their best to, at least the good Valkyrie generals were trying to, you know, preserve the timeline as much as possible. But yeah, so Demon Hunter, thank you for those points.
Is it? Oh, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
Jeremy, didn't you say you were excited to be able to talk about the Pirate Queen Bonnie? Like,
yeah.
She is like a real life character, and then
name,
just like when I first when they were first introduced and there was a little buzz about her And even in the notes, he said, for those, like, I'm paraphrasing, but for those looking for a historical reference, like, look closely. And that's exactly what you have to do, because if you, I wikied her, and her blurb is really cool. Like, it's saying she was one of the only female pirates recorded on record. And she was like so bad that she got sentenced to execution, but she was pregnant, so they stayed her execution.
To get out of there. Yeah.
And one of her partners like died in complications of childbirth or from a fever or something like that, but her whereabouts are unknown, or like whatever happened to her like is unknown. So they literally used her real life scenario, and they don't know what happened to her, so she got summoned to Valhalla. So I think that's insider information they're telling us is she didn't die. She's in Valhalla now. So that was that just made me think of you, and then just right now what you were talking about, Ryan, like just that whole concept.
Right, and the next comment actually it kind of refers to that too, because I think Jason was saying that was there any other named characters in Valhalla, and we couldn't think of any, but there were a couple of people who commented that said actually yes there is, and so I'm gonna bring that comment up right now. Let's see, we have Jack Steensland says, dude, all the gladiators are historical. Spartacus, Crixus, and Demon Hunter also says Spartacus. So yes, Spartacus, Crixus, those are actually historical people. So yes, we do have those in Heroscape. And Jason's not on the stream tonight, but I did send him a message being like, there you go. So we have at least a couple, in there that actually, historical references and actual names. So.
Makes me wonder if Spartacus ever disappeared or something in history. Because
I'm Spartacus.
It is true though. Like the Knights of Weston were actually a group of knights from France. Like, and Sir Denric was a real guy from 1500, 1600 France.
I think I did mention Sir Denric. Yep. So
Sir Denric, yep.
So yes, they are pulled. Hopefully we get more. It's not just going to be this pirate Bonnie. That there's going to be a lot more, because I know we like that since it's being the battle of all time here. And I'd love to see more like sci-fi pop culture references too, because you have Agent Carr, which is kind of a reference to like the Matrix a little bit, or even like Marvel's. Who is it?
Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury. It could be references to either, really, but he's his own character. So I mean, it doesn't have to be exact names, but those type of pop culture references embodied in characters is also pretty fun. Although we're kind of seeing that with Ironclad Collective, because they're literally making their own Borg race out of it. It's just making them more brutal, which is awesome. Okay, now see. Okay, we get to the second to last one. Kekizuki says, yeah, sorry about the adult language. This is talking about Ziltoid, the Ziltoid musical number that I mentioned about it being adult. So he just was commenting saying, yeah, sorry about the adult language, but the caffeine reference was that the whole album is essentially a space opera about an alien who wants to destroy the Earth over a bad cup of coffee, which I still have to listen through the whole thing, but yes, it's downright hilarious, that whole Ziltoid the Omniscient. And refer back to the previous, those of you watching on YouTube, go back to the previous update live stream video that we have there to see the link below. I might have, I'll probably have the link below as well, since it was mentioned again here. But again, not for the kiddies, but it's a fun listen. And then see here, last comment, and we'll probably end with this. Says Stephen Taylor says, out of curiosity, is this available in podcast format? Now that's a thought, and I haven't even thought of that, because this whole situation, starting with the first day when it was all announced, and I'm like, okay guys, come on the stream here, and let's gather, let's talk about this. This kind of live stream has kind of evolved into some type of podcast format thing. So this is something I actually have to and thank you, Stephen. And this person's a new subscriber to Tales of Valhalla YouTube page as well. So thanks for the subscription. That's something I have to give some thought into, because I wouldn't mind in actually making these into podcasts. Although the information now that we might talk about will have already been like kind of like piffled, but I'll have to think about it. I'll have to. I mean, it'll probably take some time because again, I'm a filmmaker. I'm trying to release these rest of these season episodes, so my time is very limited. But at the same time, I understand the fact that this is becoming something, and so I really have to give a lot of thought into that, as well as like how I'm going to run these live streams in the future. Because I'm also like been thinking some titles like TOV live stream. We could also just call it the TOV podcast. And since we are going to be having Heroscape a lot in the future, I might want to have something called the TOV podcast just to talk about the gameplay. I don't want to be a competitor to Casters of Valhalla because I think what they do is great, but maybe we get into, instead of like gameplay detail, we get into more of the lore, the story, and just like those figures look cool type thing. We'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about it. But
yeah, I mean they go real in depth with like the meta,
right,
and like good army compositions. Like we could still, I still like to talk about like cool army compositions. Maybe not, the most overpowered stuff, but I think doing a podcast would be awesome. But then again, also talking about all the Age of Annihilation stuff is very visual, and that's something that you really kind of want to see more than just hear.
Right.
Which I totally understand because I listen to podcasts all the time.
I can do a live video of it, and then I could just have the audio and put it on a podcast, or just create a podcast channel and put it and just say, if you're listening to this on the podcast audio, you can go to our YouTube, you can go to the TV YouTube page and watch what you're seeing there on YouTube, and just reference Tales of Valhalla that way, which might be a good way to guide traffic to Tales of Valhalla. So
exactly,
it's a good thought, good suggestion. Thank you, Stephen Taylor, and I will definitely give it some serious consideration. And see, we got, before we sign off, I got Justin in the Facebook, commenting on Facebook here. And Justin, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name, but I want to give you some credit. Justin Firacine? I know I probably butchered that, but thank you, Justin, for commenting, for watching. He was saying, I've been asking for Joan of Arc for Unmatched, but what about adding her to Heroscape? Would be fantastic seeing her next to some Deathwalkers. Yes, I agree. Joan of Arc would be a very cool historical, and she'd go great with Knights Templar too, I think. Or just have her have like some squads, her, or some French soldiers, with her with swords and stuff. Or maybe some priests. We need some priests. We need some priests of that time. Doing whatever holy rite or something to where they have like holy water or healing or something. That would be cool. So yes, absolutely, Justin. What do you guys think about that for final comments?
Yeah, I mean, Joan of Arc is, if I recall my history, because it was a while back, 100 Years War and all that stuff like that. She like won every fight she did, and she was accused of witchcraft, and that's how she got burned at the stake because she was good. Which kind of sucks, like, but like, that would be a perfect time for a Valkyrie to, swoop on down and save her from being burned alive. Be like, hey, you were doing great at war. We kind of need your intuition and tactic.
Can you imagine she'd have some type of leadership bonding?
Yeah, right. It's like we need some help up here. We'll take you away from the burning at the stake if you help us out with our war in space. It's like. But I know she was known for her war tactics. She was actually really good at leading and fighting in the 100 Years Wars. So.
Right, absolutely. If anybody knows their history, they should know Joan of Arc at least a tad. Yeah. That would be, and I'd love to see the name. I'd love to see the miniature. I've seen the movie,
Right.
But yeah, no, good thoughts, guys. Okay, so we're gonna do closing thoughts, and then you guys can give your link information. Joe Crazy, let's start with you.
Yeah, Ironclad Collective is definitely a runner-up to tomorrow. So just show me the cards now, so I can make that decision if it's gonna be number 1 or not. That would be great. Thank you. And I'm excited to see what you guys come up with next. You guys are doing a fantastic job over there at Avalon Hill. And thank you to the entire dev team. The designers and these concept arts are fantastic ways to tease us, the audience. Please give me the cards. Please, I need to see them.
Sponsor by Avalon Hill. Give us the cards.
Yeah. And then yeah. Okay, I'm calm down. I'm calm.
And who are you? Links? Like.
I am Joe Crazy 3193. I run my own YouTube channel. Go follow me on all the socials. I'm there, and
Watch that
keep
bingo
an eye out.
video.
Watch that bingo video. Let me know how I'm gonna get bingo. How are we as a community gonna get bingo, and what happens when we get bingo? Chris, what happens when we get bingo?
Jeremy, final thoughts and call out your stuff.
All right. So one thing I want to say, obviously, it's like from the perspective of a person that's obsessed with the lore, and usually just that's all he does is just read the lore. Okay, the Ironclad Collective are not Morrow. The Ironclad Collective are not Soulborg. They're different. Please stop calling them one or the other. Please stop calling them a combination of the two. It is a separate species. Thanks very much. I appreciate all of you. I'm not mad, I promise. I saw a lot of commentary say, oh, that looks like the Morrow. And I'm like, y'all, there's a lot of differences between the two. And then they're like, that looks like Soulborg. I'm like, how? So I'm just.
How does any of that look like
I gotta put that as my final thought. That's my final thought. I just want the Ironclad Collective to establish their own presence. They're new. They're awesome. They look great. They look terrifying. Let's allow them to exist on their own framework before we start meshing them in with the rest. You know what I mean? Great stuff, though. I'm super excited to see how that develops as a faction. And my name is Jeremy, also known as Croto, and also known as the SLM. I run the SLM Call It, which is a Twitch YouTube combination covering the lore and narrative design of video games and board games. I actually have a quick random announcement, kind of special announcement, at the end of this weekend, right? So it's going to be the 19th to the 21st. It's Tabletop Appreciation Weekend being run by Extra Life. So if you know anything about Extra Life, the group that does charity work, they raise money for children's hospitals. And so for this weekend, they're encouraging all people who play tabletop games to get together, play games, and earn money for kids. So I'm actually going to be going live on that weekend to raise money for children's hospitals. I'm going to be teaching people how to play history. So if you are able to donate, I will have the stream open. You can jump in, donate as much as you want, $1 or however much, and all that money is going to go to the local children's hospitals. And I'm going to be teaching how to play the game since it is coming back. So that's my plan for this weekend. If you want to drop in, check that out, let me know. It will be at twitch.tv/the_SLM. And then I also have, you can catch me there on Twitter and on under the SLM. It's my big deal for this week. I'm super excited. Wanted to show you all the cool stuff. So
cool. Ben.
My turn.
Si, senor.
What? Oh. I'm MK Plus Ultra. I have my own YouTube channel as well, MK Plus Ultra. I want to use this time too to plug my Instagram, _MK Plus Ultra, all one word, and then another underscore after it. I'm posting daily updates. As soon as I get the Avalon Hill Discord update, I post it to my Instagram, _MK Plus Ultra _. And cool little discussion about it pops up, on a couple of them. And I write, I put the designer's notes, and then I just write my initial thoughts of whatever it was, that they gave. and it's pretty cool. So for daily updates, I've been updating daily on my Instagram, and yeah, the collective. Can't wait to see where they go with this. I want more units, maybe even some common squads of collective. That would be crazy if we get that tomorrow or the day after. But that would be cool to see. And just in general, a commons drop. Like all of this stuff has been unique so far, so can't wait for that first commons drop and that first terrain drop. That's going to be nasty too. So can't wait. And I think that's all. That's about it.
Alrighty. And I am Ryan, the producer director of Tales of Valhalla, the Aftermath Chronicles, which you can find us on YouTube. And I'm still currently working on episode 7, not working on it. And but we got season 1, season 2, almost all of season 3 on YouTube. Check it out. There's literally hours worth of Heroscape stop motion animation just to wet your whistle while you're waiting for Age of Annihilation to come out. And what do I have to say? Oh my goodness, my mind went blank for a second. So a lot to look forward to this coming weekend. Yes, whatever lore dumps happen towards the end of this week. If N. Carmine, aka Chris, sends me another folklore question, we'll have to address that coming weekend. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be live streaming Sunday or Monday, and it really will determine on the day when it happens. So just keep an eye. If there is no live stream Sunday, then it'll happen Monday, and then we'll catch up with all the stuff there, and then I'll have things to talk about on what the ToV live stream Age of Annihilation update streams are going to be like in the future too. I have some ideas about that, but we'll do that next time. And like I said, going to be the short live stream tonight, but still an hour and 13 minutes, so yay. Okay, but yeah, and for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, like I said, all links to all you guys, link in the description below for these guys and everything we talked about tonight. At least they should be. If they're not, I'm sorry. But yeah, with that, thank you everybody for watching. Have a good night. If they enjoyed, everybody who commented on the stream, thanks so much. Thank you guys for your support. Just press all the buttons. Press all the buttons everywhere on those social media pages, and we will feel the love. Thank you so much. And with that, you have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye now.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye bye now.